Baseball is back, and there really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes an obvious choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With their MVP pricing guarantee, teammates reward program, and streamlined customer experience, their award-winning sales and service departments are there for all of your vehicle needs. A home team advantage is nothing without family and community. Their employees are part of the family, they're part of your town, and we're all part of the team. Visit teamtoyota.net and choose one of their 3 locations in Langhorne, Glen Mills, or Princeton.
Sean Kane. 15. The magic number is down to 15. Welcome into Phillies Talk Podcast presented by Team Toyota. I'm Seth joined by the one and only Sean Kane, the producer of Phillies pre and post game.
Thanks for having me,
dude. What a day, huh? It's been a while. Yeah, so we're still trying to get schedules sorted out and all that stuff. And Ricky and Corey will be on here hopefully at the end of this weekend after the Phillies finish up their series against the Marlins. But yeah, dude, a lot to get to. It's been a busy week, obviously, and yeah, the magic number is down to 15. And as we sit here on September 6th, before the second game down in Miami, it's crazy, man. I can't believe it's September, and 2, I can't believe that here we are at 8 games up, now tied for the best league and the best record in baseball.
Yeah, it's the division. The ship has been steady. About a month ago there was some panic. The Braves were playing well. It got to within 4 or 5 games. But you just said it. 8 games now with 22 to play. So we did the math before the post game show last night, and if the Phillies just go 11-11 over the last 22, the Braves would have to go 19-3 to win the division. So you can figure those odds out yourself. I don't want to jinx anything, but the division seems like it's a formality now. And now it's just a matter of trying to get that top seed, trying to hold off the Brewers, at least one of the top 2 seeds, so they'd avoid playing in that wild card series. And then, if they can just tie with the Dodgers or better, they get the top seed for a potential home field of the NLCS and really through the World Series, because right now the NL teams are kind of a step ahead of the American League teams. So there's still plenty to play for, but the division is their main goal, and it's looking pretty good right now.
It is. And again, as you mentioned, just the panic that was set into some of these Phillies fans, and now to be like, hey, see, they wrote the strip, everything's okay. And you and I were just kind of talking about it, and we'll get to really the player of the week here the last few days. But we were talking about it right before we came on. The Phillies are now 15-6 since Kyle Schwarber's grand slam against the Marlins on August 14th.
Yep.
And we talked about it, especially with Brookie on the pod the other day. That was kind of like the turning point of like, all right, this is right the ship. That was the moment where it was like, okay, yeah, maybe they're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And again, since then, 15-6, 5 straight winners of 10 of their last 12. They're finally getting on a roll.
Yeah, and they had just the game prior to that grand slam was that first game against the Marlins. They had lost, and they kind of got blown out, and it was like, oh my god, like it was pretty bad then. And then they were losing that game against the Marlins. The second game, when Schwarber hit the grand slam back on August 14th, and they've really played well since then. They've you mentioned 15-6 in their last 21, 10-2 in their last 12. Heading into this game Friday in Miami, trying to win a 5th straight series. So no, it's been nice to see them kind of regain their footing and win some series and play pretty good baseball. Both, they won a series in Kansas City. That's a potential playoff team. They beat us, won a series, against the Astros. So they're playing some good teams. They're beating some good teams, taking care of business against Toronto, and so far so good against Miami after 1 game. So it's nice to see. And there's still some question marks, but yeah, Schwarber, you alluded to him, just kind of setting the tone, and that's generally what he does, man. It's he had been struggling a little bit, he hit the grand slam, but then he kind of went into a funk, and then in Toronto, just kind of holy cow, had another big double in the series opener against Miami, and he sets the tone. And a lot of people obviously question why him at the top of the lineup, but Rob Thompson stuck with him, and they've won a lot of games with him. That's always Rob Thompson's line when he's the leadoff spot, and that's the case again this year. They're winning a lot of games with Schwarber at the top.
And his wheel is maybe the fastest leadoff guy.
He's actually running better. I mean, he's not the fast. Yeah, seems healthier. Seems better. He's back out in left field a couple days ago and did pretty well out there. Made a nice little sliding catch. So it's nice to see him back on track and getting things started early on in these games too.
Yeah, that game on Tuesday, man, against the Blue Jays, just insane. There was everything that I put it on Twitter. The game was drunk. I mean, it was insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like it just hits off the leadoff bomb, then Phillips struggles,
Yeah.
which we'll get to Tyler here in a second. But then, then to see them kind of just chip away, and everyone in the clubhouse afterwards kind of said, they never really got down on themselves, even when they were down 6-1, they were down 8-4.
Mhm.
Vladdy takes Ty deep for a massive shot to make it 8-4 there in the 6th or 7th. And then they just kind of keep chipping away. And in my opinion, we've kept saying it, especially against the Braves. That's the biggest win of the year. That was almost a very important win for this team,
Yep.
especially when they've been struggling and really it was kind of like, oh yeah, they got their groove back, especially taking 3 or 4 from Atlanta. And then all of a sudden it was like, all right, well, they still don't have a fifth starter, but this shows that the offense is now clicking a little bit more and more here. And that's the thing. Stott has found his groove. Thursday night finishes with 2 hits, a home run, his 11th of the season. And he even talked about just kind of going the opposite way to make it 1-0 there in the first. That's always good to see Bryce Stott finally. You and I have been talking about it a lot, especially in the pod. Just we have to get this guy going, and it looked like he did on Thursday.
For sure. Yeah, and the offense is kinda doing what they're doing without Alec Bohm. He's been out for, like, a week now. At least we'll see if he's in the lineup tonight in Miami, but, it's been over a week since he, hurt his hand, and, you can tell Harper obviously is battling through, but both elbows are giving him issues. But, yeah, the offense and the game in Toronto, that first game in Toronto, on Tuesday when Phillips got hit hard early, and, yeah, they just weren't out of it, and they had a ton of traffic in the base paths. Like, I think they still even though they won the game, I don't know what they were, runners in scoring position off the top of my head, but they had about felt like it was about 3 for 18 at one point.
Yeah.
And then obviously Schwarber came up with the big home run, in the 9th inning. But, yeah, they're getting guys on base. I think Cody Clemens is giving them a nice spark.
About it, dude.
Getting some starts now. He had a great at bat in that game on Tuesday. It ended with a fielder's choice, but saw a ton of pitches. Then he hits the big home run on Wednesday, pardon me, and then had another 2-run double in Miami on Thursday night. So he's coming up with some big hits. Um, I I think he's going to end up on a postseason roster. Just the ability he has to come off the bench and give you a professional at bat. The versatility he has, they feel comfortable with him in the outfield. In addition to third base, first base, so he can play a little second base too in an emergency. So he's something to watch. I think in the last 3 weeks of the season, he's kind of made his most of his opportunities the last week, certainly.
Yeah, and him and Weston Wilson, it's exactly what they kinda needed. Um, Obviously, Whit Merrifield wasn't providing that, and
Mhm.
it was time for him to go, but to see Cody Clemens and see Weston Wilson get these opportunities and, yeah, Cody there could be a chance we have a Cody Clemens postseason moment
Yeah,
come October, which would be incredible.
for sure.
It's been so great to see him swing the bat, and he made that play in the 8th or 9th. I
Yes.
guess it was the 8th last night.
Yeah.
Threw the ball about 10 feet over Bryce's head, which ended up leading to Miami's second run, but other than that, I've been
Mhm.
super impressed with Cody.
Yeah.
He's just been I feel like every time he's up to the plate, it's like, "Alright, yeah, something good's gonna happen here," and when you can have a young guy off the bench like that, kinda give you that confidence where it's like, "Hey, he's gonna come through, whether it's a double down the line," and
Mhm.
he yeah, 'cause I guess what he set up Schwarber's home run in the 9th in Toronto on
Mhm.
Tuesday.
Yep.
They got the first 2 guys on, and then, did he hit a double? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
double down the line, Vince
Yeah.
Guerrero, yep.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, from there and Shoreward goes yard, and this place went nuts. I know you were probably down in the control room and
Yeah.
all that stuff, but yeah, it was great up in the office. Everyone kinda was like, "Yeah, you kinda felt it was gonna happen," and then it did, and I was like, "Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. Here
Yeah,
we go."
for sure. No, that was huge.
Yeah,
That was huge. And that game, I know you mentioned him earlier, and I just feel bad for Tyler Phillips. Like, I know we've talked a lot about him, on the podcast previously and the job he did when he first came up, and even when he struggled. He's just the local guy being from you can just tell how much it means to him. It means a lot to everybody in the big leagues, obviously, but he
yeah,
living out his dream, just, multiple times when he hasn't pitched well, just he always says he feels like he's letting everybody down.
yeah, it's crazy,
And
man.
then just to kinda bottom out like that against Toronto where he couldn't get out of the first inning, and afterwards he looked like honestly looked like, he was gonna cry. He
There's
looked like he was
tears,
gonna cry
yeah.
afterwards. It was a shame. But it just doesn't seem to be working out for him. He throws that complete game against Cleveland, and I think his last 4 starts, his ERA is, like, over 17. Like,
Yeah,
it's just he had that awful start in Seattle, the rough one in Toronto. He was okay in LA. And the start against the Marlins, he was just okay, but, you feel bad. Like,
yeah.
I just don't think it's gonna work out. Obviously, they sent him back down. They gotta figure out the starter spot with Seth Johnson, who I know we're gonna get into, but, just kinda feel bad for the local guy. It
Yeah.
was going so well, and such a great story, and you can tell it really hurts him when he doesn't do well, and that's kinda been the case the last handful of starts.
I felt so bad for him and for everyone that didn't get to see, on postgame, and we got a clip up on social as well, but man, the guy was just so defeated, and it stinks because the the atmosphere in the clubhouse was great. There's our guy, Ricky Bo. Hi, Ricky. But yeah, the atmosphere in the clubhouse was great. Now they just came back from 8-4 down, and Schwarber goes yard for his 3rd home run, and the clubhouse was great. And then you get to Tyler, and he's just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
man, this poor kid." And like you said, man, you can just tell how much this means to him. And he reiterates, he just feels like he's letting himself down. And I think Alex Coffey or someone asked the question, of, you know, is it kind of more magnified that this is your hometown team and
Sure.
you having all this pressure, and he said, he's like, "Yeah, I let my family down." It's like, "Dude, hey, you're okay, and everything's gonna be fine." And I think they'll figure out this 5th rotation spot here coming up. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it was tough. And we talked about it the other day on, before post-game live. His last 4 starts, you just mentioned it. It's something ridiculous, dude. And in,
Yeah.
15, 16 innings with, 23 or 24 in runs,
Yeah.
it's not been great. So
No, fortunately, it was, kind of fun while it lasted, but, I'm excited to see Seth Johnson on
correct.
Sunday.
Good transition there. Good
Yeah.
transition.
They knew it was earlier in the week, the day after Phillips, they sent him down, and Rob Thompson kinda said, "I know what we're gonna do, but, I, don't wanna really get into it yet," but he said it wasn't likely to be a bullpen game on Sunday, and, we all knew Colby Allard isn't eligible to come back up, until the 10th, so we knew something had to give on Sunday, and we were all trying to figure out, reading between the lines, Nick Nelson had just been promoted. Are they gonna try to start Nick Nelson because he's throwing this knuckleball, maybe give that a shot? But sure enough, Seth Johnson, which I like. The guy's been awesome in AAA. The high pedigree guy, was a high draft pick, kind of bounced around a little bit between a couple different organizations, then comes over to the Phillies in the Soto trade at the end of July. He kind of has like a parallel a little bit. I was talking last night to Jeff Wexler, one of our producers, the parallel between him and Spencer Schwellenbach a little bit.
Ooh.
Both played shortstop in college, really, pitched here and there. Both had Tommy John surgery not too long ago, and obviously we've seen what Schwellenbach's done for the Braves. But if he can be that type of guy that can come up and give them a spark, obviously for a couple more weeks in the regular season here, but just a good athlete, a guy they're obviously high on, a guy the Orioles were high on, and then to get him going and to see the numbers he's put up in AAA in his last 3 starts in Lehigh Valley. I think his ERA is like .56. He's just named the minor league pitcher of the month for August in the organization, so he's on a roll. Obviously, it's a big step up for him, and but sometimes the Marlins aren't the 27 Yankees. It's a nice lineup for him to kind of hopefully get his feet wet again, see how he does on Sunday. I'm looking forward to watching him, and maybe gives him a spark and gives him somebody in that 5th spot at least to eat up some innings and keep the other guys rested. Heading into October.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Seth, and it is crazy that the 2 pitchers that they got in that Soto trade shared pitcher of the month in the minor leagues, and it's great. Moises, is it Chasse? I don't wanna
Yeah, Chasse, I
Chasse?
think it is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So also had a great month down in Clearwater, or not Clearwater, I guess it was in Jersey Shore, I think. So it's just great to see. It's kinda like it's the addition by subtraction with Gregory Soto, right?
Yeah.
It was kinda like, "Alright, who are these 2 guys?" And now Seth Johnson's gonna get thrown in here. Um, I'm excited to see him, man, and I love that comparison with Spencer Schwellenbach. Um, yeah, dude, and yeah, I'm looking at his stats right now. His last so far with Lehigh, 16 innings, only 5 hits, 1 earned runs, 13 Ks, and a
Yeah.
.56 ERA.
That's crazy.
So, and yeah, because Colby Allard can't come up till September 10th, so we're
Right.
4 days away from maybe seeing Colby Allard again. But
Yep.
I'm excited to see Seth Johnson get a start here. It's gonna be interesting. I feel like that's been the talking point of this podcast from March of like, all right, the depth is great. Now can these guys perform? And without Taiwan, and I'll tell you what, Taiwan looked pretty good on Wednesday. It was typical stat line too of like 4 innings, 4 hits,
Right.
1 earned run or 2 earned runs, I guess, with the Vlad home run.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we'll hopefully see with Seth Johnson. I'm excited to see what he can bring. The numbers are there, dude. The numbers are there down in AAA. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But kind of transitioning to the ace of this team from the 5th start to the 8th.
Mhm.
Could we see a Cy Young award go to Zack Wheeler come November? Now, the thing is, it's gonna be great because now the Braves are now, as we sit down here on Friday, September 6th, about 2:00, the Braves are currently tied with the Mets for that wild card spot, which
Mhm.
is an insane thought to even have.
Yeah.
The Mets are here, they're really hot lately.
Phil's
But
got 7 more games. That'll
it's
be interesting to
it's
see how that
wild,
all
dude.
plays out, but not to interrupt, but
No, no,
Cy
we were
Young,
talking too. I mean, there's a if you do 15 days from now, that is September 21st is when the Phillies go up to New York in Citi Field. Um, so that could be a clinching situation, which we'll get to because we had
yeah.
the debate last night of if they are they gonna celebrate
I
if
think
they
they'll
make
wait. I think they wait for the
that's right, they have
yeah.
to, right?
And in the way it's shaping out now, it looks like they're kind of magic number to to clinch a spot because the Braves and Mets are like tied right now is going to be pretty much identical to clinch the division if it kind
Correct.
of stays that way. Now it probably will vary by a game or two, but I can't see them like going nuts before the division's clinched. Like, especially if like it's only another day or two before you get in as a division. So
Right.
that seems to be the goal. That's the number one goal. That's the big celebration, I think. And then
Agreed.
obviously they still keep playing to get that bye into the DS and hopefully the top record as well in home field.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was a debate. That was a debate in the office last night. It was like, do you think they're gonna have 2 celebrations? Knowing this team, it wouldn't surprise
That's
me if
true.
they have 2
That's
celebrations.
true.
Maybe we'll have to talk to some guys when they get back here against the Rays coming on Monday. But
Celebrity cook Steve Martirano brings his Italian-American cooking back home to Philly. Enjoy Martirano's Prime at Rivers Casino and Steve's famous meatballs with Sunday gravy, prime steaks, and more. Make reservations for Martirano's Prime on OpenTable.
yeah, man, going back, the Chris Sale, Zack Wheeler comparison is crazy. And, God forbid if we end up facing them or if the Phillies end up facing them in the wild card round, if the Rays end up making the playoffs and somehow the Phillies collapse to that 3rd seed. I mean, even in the NLDS, having a Zack Wheeler, Chris Sale matchup would be awesome, especially when it comes down to the Cy Young. Who has your vote right now if the Cy Young ended right now?
Yeah, I think Sale would get it right now.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I mean, Wheeler's certainly deserving. I just think Sale's numbers are a little better, and from all the injuries they've had, pitching staff and otherwise, he's kind of been, the one constant in their rotation, which is crazy because of all the injuries. He's always injured. Like I thought when they signed him, like knowing the Braves, I was going to have a great year. But I was, thinking at some point he would probably have to miss a few weeks or a month with some type of injury, knowing his recent history. But he's been great, and it's Wheeler's been Cy Young worthy, and you feel like by this point in his career, he finished second to Corbin Burns a few years back. Like he kind of deserves one at this point. You like to see him get one, and it's still possible. Like he still has to start tonight in Miami, Friday night in Miami. Then he'll have a couple more starts after that, obviously. So if he can continue to pitch well, if Sale has a hiccup, I don't think it's like a done deal. I just think Sale is the front runner at the moment. But Wheeler's been great for them, and Wheeler and Nola. Like Nola, numbers aren't as good as Wheeler's, but just taking the ball just for those 2 guys to stay healthy, take the ball every 5 days, be that steadying force, while you dealt with the Ranger injury, the 5th starter all year really has been an issue. Chris Sanchez has been pretty solid. He's had a few hiccups, but just, Wheeler and Nola kind of setting the tone at the top of the rotation, your big money guys. They've been great. Wheeler's been the best of the 2 of them. So I hope he can make a late surge here. I don't think he has it now, but there's still, 3-4 weeks to play. So hopefully he can finish strong and see what happens.
I hope so, and it could start tonight against the Marlins with Zack Wheeler getting on the mound against the Marlins against Edward Cabrera. Dude, it was crazy to me. I didn't realize Chris Sale also hasn't had a Cy Young. He's finished second a few times, and it's like Zack finished second in 2021.
You could be like a sentimental vote type guy.
That's right, exactly, and, like, I think even almost like the comeback player of the year to a point, if they had something like that, of Chris Sale being the guy to win that award and maybe, like you said, I don't know necessarily a sympathy award, but just to give Chris Sale an opportunity, and I can't believe the season that he's had, and I saw a tweet from a Red Sox fan when he made that crazy play, against the Giants, where it was like a comeback, and like it fell. They were like, "If that happened to Boston a few years ago, he's probably in the IL for the rest of the year," and all that stuff, so it is good to see Chris Sale. Obviously go ahead.
No, I was just gonna get back to Wheeler. Like,
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
been thinking about Wheeler, like not just this year's Cy Young, but just what he's done since he signed here. He came over before the COVID season, so 2021, 22, 23, 24. It's his 5th year. He's got the new deal. He's locked in for a couple more years. Um, if he continues to pitch at this level or near this level, like at some point you got to start thinking where he falls in the pecking order of great Phillies pitchers.
Yeah.
Like Roy Halladay was awesome, but he had 2 good years.
Right.
Like he had 2 great years, and he started getting hurt. Cliff Lee had some good years. Cole Hamels was awesome, homegrown, great years. He had some down years too. Wheeler has just been so consistent for like half a decade now. At some point you start saying, is he in the discussion for like best pitcher, Phillies pitcher since Steve Carlton,
Yeah.
which is 40 plus years ago now. If he continues to go like this, does he start building a baseball Hall of Fame case?
Yeah.
Again, like I know he missed some time
Yeah.
early in his career with injuries, and he was kind of a late bloomer, with the Mets and then after the trade to the Phillies, so that the counting numbers aren't there. He just had his 100th career win. But I don't know, man. He's been dominant, and he's put together a really nice run here of sustained excellence. So just to kind of step back and like appreciate him, what he's done for the Phillies and how good he's been, consistent he's been, it's pretty impressive.
It's been, and I feel like I guess being in Philadelphia, obviously, it's like, yeah, we know who Zack Wheeler is and all this stuff, but I feel like nationally, it's been under the radar since
Mhm.
he's been a member of the Phillies. It's kinda like this guy has had some of the better numbers in baseball history, and his postseason numbers are historic as well. And yeah, no one's really talking about him. The fact that we're even sitting here being like, yeah, there's a Hall of Fame case if Wheeler can keep this up, and obviously extending him
Right.
was huge, and hopefully he can keep this up. And even speaking of that, dude, Nola kind of working his way up as well in the Phillies history books and with pitchers and stuff. And we get back to him, he's just yeah. Rob said it, you've said it, Ricky said it, everyone has said it. Just Mr. Consistency. You know, he's going to
Yeah.
go out there and stay healthy, knock on wood, and continue to throw the ball well. And yeah, man, it's good. This Cy Young race is going to be great. And now kind of transition into what you were talking about, and you mentioned it earlier. Bryce just being banged up.
Mhm.
My opinion going into this series was rest this entire week, and I know he doesn't like doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know why he wouldn't wanna just take it easy this weekend. I mean, dude, what, there was like 9,000 people there at the game last night, and it was
Mhm.
like the lowest attendance at a Phillies game this season
Right.
on Thursday night in Miami. Like, no one really cares down there. That's almost a glorified AAA team with the Marlins.
Mhm.
Just take this weekend off. You know, you can tell he's hurt. I just my point was like, what's he he's not in the MVP race anymore.
No.
He's not trying to get the batting title or a home run, like, anything. And
Yeah.
maybe it is just more at bats to try to find that power because the power is still missing, but I don't know, my opinion was like, "Dude, take this weekend off, regroup." I mean, you have a good series against the Rays, and then you have the Milwaukee series coming up, which is a huge series.
Mhm.
That's the series that we have to be focused on. Um, I mean, what are your thoughts on Bryce just playing this weekend, and did you have the same thoughts I did?
Yeah, I mean, logically, it's gonna think, like, not necessarily put him on the IL, but just give him a few days. But
Yeah.
he talked after when he got plunked in the left elbow in
Yep.
Toronto on Wednesday,
Yep.
left the game, early after that first inning at bat. He was asked that, and he was just like, "I don't think a day or 2, I would feel the same in a day or 2 if I don't think my elbow, my wrist would get any better if I just took a day or 2 off." And Rob Thompson, made the joke that, like, he's just dealing with it, and when he swings and misses, it hurts. I told him not to swing and miss, ha. But I don't know. All things in this organization, I just think Bryce kinda sets the tone for what Bryce is gonna do,
For
and
sure.
he's been awesome on the field, he's been awesome off the field, and if Bryce says he wants to play,
And then,
he's gonna play.
gosh
Like,
darn it,
I
he's
mean,
gonna play.
yeah, Rob Thompson obviously is a good manager. I'm not trying to say he's a pushover, but he's gonna listen to Bryce Harper, and he's not gonna, butt heads with Bryce Harper at this point in the season over a couple of days of rest, and, they're winning. Not like that he's hurting the team, but yeah, I mean, they need some power, obviously, with the more it's going on a month now, right,
Yeah.
since his last home run
Yeah,
was in
yeah.
Arizona?
I think it was August 9th, I
Yeah,
wanna say? Yeah.
yeah, so, he's still hitting for a decent average, but yeah, he's not 100%, and they both said that everybody's dealing with something this time of year, but he seems to be dealing with, both elbows and a wrist. Not great for a hitter.
Yeah.
That's a little more than just kinda, bumps and bruises, so, yeah, I agree with you. I think a couple days off would help, but he says it doesn't, and his vote's pretty much the only one that
And
counts.
it's Bryce's word for
Yeah,
anyone else's word,
uh-huh,
which is, hey, I give credit to the guy. I'm not saying he shouldn't play.
yeah,
I just in my opinion, I was like, "Dude, just take this series off." Again, this is a and even last night, I think Ricky said we were sitting here and, oh god, we'll tell a story about his experiences yesterday and at a drive-through,
at
but,
Burger King,
yeah,
correct?
oh
Yeah,
yeah, Burger
yeah, yeah,
King.
yeah.
Ricky might be the owner of a Burger King here shortly. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, he said he was like, the game should have been like 10-0. Like the Marlins team is just not good.
Mhm.
And but hey, a win's a win. They'll take it. We'll take it. And hopefully they can keep it moving forward this weekend. And obviously Seth Johnson coming up
Yeah,
and on Sunday, and
Wheels and Knowles next 2 nights
that's right.
here, and
And
let's
then
go
big
get a
series against the Rays. Big series, Tampa coming to town.
mhm,
I know the Rays aren't what they used to be, but that's still just another series where it's like, don't take your foot off the gas here.
right,
Just because, it in my opinion, it's one of those series that you go in there and you take 2 or 3, sweep them, keep moving forward, and kind of rock from there.
yeah.
Yeah, because then, well,
You
I
got
will be off the weekend after that. But
but you
go
got
ahead.
the Mets, and then the
Yep.
Brewers, and then the Mets again. That's
Yep.
like a tough 10-day,
Yeah.
stretch there where a lot can be decided both in terms of the division and
Who your
playoff
fifth starter
positioning, and then
who your fifth
yeah,
starter could be.
exactly, exactly, so it's a good stretch coming up. Yeah, stacking these wins up in Florida this weekend.
That's right, exactly, and kind of a wild trip going from north of the border all the way to the southern point of the United
Yeah,
States, but, hey, they've done it before with all their travel and stuff, so, hey, big, obviously we'll be watching something, but obviously we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the Eagles tonight. What are your predictions? And
I didn't even
Eagles
realize
back?
they played. I've been so locked into this Marlins series. They're playing tonight?
I think so. Well, it
Where
was
is the
funny.
game? Is it Brazil?
Brazil,
Yes,
Brazil. That's
yes,
right.
I've
Yeah,
heard.
the Eagles are playing Brazil.
Yeah, that's a tough game for them to start with. The Packers, I feel like those were two teams kind of on different paths at the end of last. Not to get into the Phillies talk.
No, I was going to say,
The
let's go.
Packers last season were on the upswing as the season ended into the playoffs. Beat the Cowboys, nearly beat the 49ers, whereas the Eagles obviously were 10-1. And then, so it'll be interesting to see how these two teams regrouped in the offseason. Two good young quarterbacks, a lot of talent on the team on the field. I think the Eagles have their work cut out for them tonight. It would not surprise me if they come back 0-1. But going to need Jalen to step up, see how the offense looks under Kellen Moore, the defense looks under Vic Fangio. I could go on for hours. I'll stop now, but I'm looking forward to it, Spence. Week 1, the Birds are back.
You never know what you're going to get on the Phillies Talk
Yeah.
Podcast. And not going to lie, please still watch Phillies pregame or
yeah.
Eagles pregame live.
Yes.
But that's all the information you need right
Yeah.
here, getting you set
Right.
for a big Week 1 matchup. And I know our guy Alex Ruane, he'll if they don't win tonight, I'm worried about him. Well, he'll be okay. He thinks our Eagles our Eagles digital producer has confirmed that they're going to win every single game this year. So
wow.
So if they lose tonight, I'm worried about them. But other than that, hey, like you said, you and I and the whole Phillies pod, we're locked in
Zach's
on this huge.
Eddie Cabrera. I mean, that's who needs football tonight.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's kind of a shame we're not getting Jesus Luzardo this weekend. But the Phillies have great numbers against Cabrera. So we'll see. But well, that'll wrap it up. We'll hopefully talk to you guys on Sunday after hopefully a 4-game sweep of the Marlins. If you listened last time, I said I wasn't going to shave the beard. I told my girlfriend I was going to shave it until they get to 10 games. So here we are. It doesn't look great.
10-game lead.
10-game lead. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So we're coming up on
number 10.
Yeah. No. Yeah. 10-game lead in the division. So just 2 more games.
Yeah. All right.
And the Braves got are they still playing the Rockies this
No,
weekend?
they're at Toronto now.
Oh, there you
Toronto this weekend, I believe. Yeah.
So big Jays fans here the next 2 days, so I can shave. So, So for Sean Key, now I'm Spencer Kutcher for your Eagles coverage, and your Phillies coverage, and make sure you tune into Eagles pre and post game live, and as well, don't forget, please watch Phillies pre and post game live. Always a good show. So for Sean Key and I'm Spencer Kutcher, we'll talk to you guys next week.